and show how one could or could not.
Keeping it on the P for real.
Gotta tune in to
Yo,
these
ladies
brothers.
and gentlemen, TZ Vaughn Savage and Jay Lauer is in the fucking building.
Keep It P podcast. Be one to you players.
Y'all tune in to their podcast here.
You know what I like? I like the fact that, like, the notifications come right after the intro. Nobody ever gets to see that sweet intro, man. What's up with y'all this morning, man? How y'all feeling, man? I got something for y'all, man. Nobody's talking about the 4 black students that were shot in Pittsburgh this week, man. Ain't nobody talking about that, man. It says America's most famous mass shooting this week was Monday's killing of 3 students and wounding of 5 others at Michigan State, another in the country's long, bloody, and unnecessary history of mass murders with high-powered guns. The Michigan State murders were tragic, nevertheless, and enraging, but depending upon which of the very definitions of mass shootings you follow, it was the only one in the past few days. It wasn't even the only one at a school. On Tuesday, 4 students were shot and left Westinghouse Academy, a high school in Pittsburgh, Homewood neighborhood at the end of the day. All 4 survived and are expected to recover. No suspect or motive have been named, and the remainder of the Westinghouse schools have been on remote learning for a week since. I tell you up front about my personal connection to Westinghouse. I graduated. I don't care about your personal connection. Okay, we're going to skip that. But I'm guessing right. Unless you live in Pittsburgh, you were today years old the first time you heard about the particular episode. I'll venture another guess that's what it is, because the gun violence and even at scale, happiness is poor. Black communities and the media and the politicians treat it differently than when it happens in middle class or wealthy ones. That's a brand generalization with notable exceptions. And Uvalde massacre, for example, happened in a majority Hispanic community where the median household is just above 46,000 a year. But the violence there, 21 dead, including 919 elementary students, the tale of gross incompetence by police made the story that was impossible regardless to whether it happened. It says the students shot Tuesday were exited Westinghouse in one of Pittsburgh's blackest, poorest, most violent neighborhoods, a stark distinction in the city where data has already spelled out racial inequalities, outcomes, and the lack of quality life near the bottom among American cities for black residents. At large, being a predominantly black neighborhood does not make the community inherently poor or violent, although Pittsburgh and elsewhere, poverty and violence do closely track historical patterns of segregation and disinvestment. What also closely mirrors those patterns in the causelessness in which instances of violence they were treated by media and sometimes even local officials. It's hard to believe, for instance, they had 4 teenagers being shot leaving school in one of Pittsburgh's wealthiest white suburbs, Mount Lebanon, a borough of roughly 33,000. That's 90% white, with a median household income of 107,000. The story wouldn't have drawn more interest and inquiry. Why? I can imagine NBC host Lester Holt is asking, primetime slot, did violence visit here in such an enclave of safety and privilege? The question we all should be asking is why mass shootings are tolerated anywhere from any reason without asking a single time, why does it happen? So let me get this straight. The Root by Byron I'm Not Black Allen has an article talking about that was a domestic racial attack. Was it, fam? Is you from there, fam? You know what's going on? KIPP family, we got my mans in here. Cedric, you know what's going on? You know you family now. You done tapped in, bro. Wile E. Coyote. I like that. Was of course it was a racial attack, and they're of course not gonna frame it that way because we ain't Asian. But also I want to say this, Root, you just made an article about an attack that happened that nobody's talked about, and you ain't talk about it either. You just mentioned that it happened. You ain't getting no details. You ain't. I'm glad that the 4 students are gonna be okay and nobody was killed, but fam, look what you just did. I don't know. Did you pay attention to that when you wrote this? Did you say, hey, we're gonna write an article about a shooting that happened and not write an article about it? You talk more about Michigan State and Uvalde than you did the one where the black people got shot. Now I'm not Black Allen in the Root. What's going on? Anyway, man, I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. Make sure that you care about black issues, because obviously ain't nobody else gonna do it. And that's that. And I got 4 words for you. Let me look you square in the eye, buddy. Okay? Square in the eye. It says love. It's got the peace. We got the blessings. And we got the aloha. And I'm out the doha for sure, hot cuz. You already know hot cuz. You know what I'm saying, cuz? I'm not a Crip, by the way. I just like saying cuz. Cuz it rolls off the tongue so great. All right, y'all. Yee. Peace.
Sandra Blackwood for Hot Lava Music TV. First off, let's get this straight. I only want a boss. And I like to see a boss and boss shit. Where can you get boss shit, you ask? Well, dig this player. Boss 3NT Clothing got that drip for you and your missus. Now first, go follow at Boss 3NT Clothing on IG to see more real boss shit. And second, please log on to boss3ntclothing.com. That's boss3ntclothing.com.
We need to go out here and say exactly what we want. And we got to say it with our chest. And we kind of start pussyfooting around, and we got to stop being scared to say exactly what we want, what we need. We need that paper. Say it with your chest. Damn all that. We need justice. We need y'all to love us. No. We don't need that paper. We need reparations in the form of a check. Let's stop being afraid to say it.